guys, it's Maria. Today we're going to talk a little bit about stuttering. I'm not going to go into all the aspects of it because there's a lot involved. I just want to brush up just on the basics of what it is. So stuttering, also referred to as disfluency or stammering, is when a person's speech is not fluid, when it's not flowing nicely. So usually that will involve things like repetitions, when we're saying a sound over and over again before we're able to make that word. We can repeat that word over and over again. We can repeat a phrase over and over again. Basically, that's what people think of when they think of stuttering. They think of repetition. Stuttering can also be prolongations, and that is when a sound all of a sudden now just gets stretched out. There are blocks. Blocks are a little hard to see because that is when nothing is coming out. That's when a child is just pretty much standing there, mouth open, no sound. There are interjections, which we all do on a daily basis. That's that kind of stuff. That's also considered a part of stuttering, depending on how often it's happening. So there's different types of stuttering, and some people can do one type or they can do all of them. They can do some of them. It sort of depends on the situation. Along the lines of repetitions, prolongations, interjections, blocks are also what we call the secondary behaviors. So not just the stuttering itself, what we hear, but also what we see. A lot of times when someone is trying to avoid stuttering, they will do different things to almost make their body stop that from happening. They will tense up, they will hit their hand, they will try to grab something. They're trying to control the stuttering from happening. Reasons why I don't like stuttering is because it is very emotional, and I don't like to see kids when they get to the place where they just don't want to talk, because they know that when they open their mouth, they're not going to be able to say things clearly, and it just breaks my heart. Stuttering also changes over time, depending on stress, depending on emotional issues. It's something that it can start as a little kid and then go away for a few years and then come back later on. So you don't really know always how to track it and how to deal with it. When they are very small, what we tend to do is ignore the situation. If they're itty bitties that are just learning how to talk and you notice them going, I want to go outside. Sometimes it's because there is so much information up here that they're trying to tell us, but their little brain and their motor and their planning just hasn't developed to the point where they can tell us the 10,000 things that are in their mind out of their mouth clearly at the same time. So at that point in time when they're small, what we tend to do is either ignore it altogether so we don't draw attention to it and make them aware of it, or we try to slow down. So parents, I'm not telling you to tell your child to slow down. I'm telling you to slow down. So sit in front of that child, and instead of going, oh, what do you want? What do you need? Let's go. Slow down and say to them, okay, what do you need? We're gonna model the behavior. We're gonna model the slow speech that we want. It's annoying, it's exhausting. I will tell you from experience, having to talk that slowly is awkward. Awkward as anything, but it's your best bet that your child will try to imitate you. They're not gonna speak that slowly. At that age, nobody does. But hopefully it'll get them to slow down enough that their stuttering lessens a little bit. By about 7 years old, if you see that it's still happening, and it's still happening a lot, then we definitely want to get them into therapy. Because what's going to happen with the stuttering, like I said, is that eventually, once they become aware of it, they're going to try to avoid it. And there are so many other behaviors that come along with the avoidance that are 10 times harder to deal with than the stuttering itself. So let's try to get them in when you see it becoming a big issue and when you see that it hasn't gone away over time, that even though they're slowing down, it's still happening, then we definitely want to get them in. A good way for you to tell at home if it's significant enough that we need therapy is to just get a percentile. So when we look at stuttering, we're gonna diagnose how severe it is depending on how frequently it's happening. I get a little piece of paper and I do a plus and a minus. So every time they say a word and it comes out nice, it's a plus. Every time they say a word and they're getting stuck on it, or they're repeating it, or they're prolonging it, then that's a minus. At the end of this, let's say 50-word sample that you've taken, do a little math. I try to get things at a 10-word increment just because my math is not that great. So at the end of 100 words or 50 words, if your percentile is less than 10%, then it's probably not that significant. If it's over 10%, then you might be concerned. If they're at 20 to 30% or 40 to 50%, then definitely be concerned. We all stutter. Everyone stutters. That's one of the very first things I tell kids when they come in is I say, everybody stutters. We all do it in different ways, and we all do it in different levels, or how severe is it? When they understand that, it kind of takes the pressure off of them. When they know that everybody does it, it's just that they do it a little bit more often, then it makes it not so significant to them. It makes them feel like they're not the weirdos that are doing this. So what I was talking about, taking a percentile, just get a quick percentage. That tells you how often how often they are stuttering. That's your frequency of stuttering. You also want to look at the types of stuttering that they're doing, and you want to look at how often this is happening across the board. Is this only happening when they're super stressed out and they just came in and they want to tell you something really important? Or when they're about to have a really big test at school and they're anxious and they're nervous? Is it happening when they're calm and they're just with their family watching TV? Is it happening when they're reading or when they're singing? So we want to look at when this is happening, okay? Because if it's in a stressful situation only, that's kind of normal. If it's happening all the time, even when they're just with their family in a relaxed situation, then that's not normal. So stuttering is very much linked to emotion. It's linked to stress. It's linked to anxiety. Sometimes it's very much linked to heredity too. Remember, boys tend to stutter more than girls do. Boys tend to stutter because some other male in their family line has also stuttered. Grandpa, uncle, dad. Look at the lineage. Go back in time and see. Ask the grandparents. They're usually the ones who keep track of everything. Usually it's some sort of heredity that was brought about by another member in the family. If that's the case, then it's going to happen. If it's somebody else in the family is a significant stutterer and this child is starting to stutter, then go ahead and get them into therapy. You already know it was hereditary. Let's just go ahead and tackle it as early as we can. So look at the frequency, see how often it's happened. Look at what the situations are that it's happening in, duration. And look at how long it's lasting. If it's, I want to go to the store, it's just one repetition, it only happened one time, it's okay. If it's I, and he's there for 2-3 seconds and you're watching this happen, that's getting more severe. That's getting more and more significant. So look at those factors, kind of judge and see how bad you think it is, and then definitely go find somebody who specializes in stuttering. I will tell you myself that it's not my area. It's not my favorite thing to work on. I don't like seeing kids get frustrated. So I will usually send them to somebody who handles just stuttering. I have a friend, he loves it. He graduated from school, went straight to open up his own stuttering clinic. I send them all over there. But I'll assess it. I can do an evaluation. I can talk to you about it, and then I will transfer you to somebody who that is their heart and soul, and they'll work on it with a lot more love, I guess, and a lot more expertise than I will. I hope that answered some questions. This was just a quick little overview on what it is and what to do about it and how to figure out an easy way to know if it's happening in a way that's significant enough that you need to call for help. Alrighty guys, as always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns and I will be happy to answer. Talk to you soon. Bye.